Welcome back to the Final Cut. We've got a whopper on store for you today. We have got the amazing Tariq House, who's an amazing barber and a barber of the new era. Tariq's going to talk to us all about in this episode of how he started in his humble careers in Cardiff, but how he worked his way up to getting noticed by big brands, travelling the world, and also working on Love Island and different programmes as well. He's going to share his story coming right up on Final Cut. Welcome back to another episode here at the Final Cut here in London, and today we have got an amazing guest for you. Anybody out there that leads teams, and whether you're a salon owner, barbershop owner, whether you're in my position where you lead teams on stage, sometimes you look in the industry and you look back and you think, maybe that's one that just got away. And today I'm going to interview this guy who just got away. Fantastic kid, fantastic barber, and he's travelling the world doing what he does. So please welcome to the Final Cut, Mr. Tariq House.
How's it going, Simon?
Very well.
Yeah, good.
Joined by David Foster, co-founder of SalonEVO, BarberEVO. Just to start off with, just for everybody who doesn't know you, all our viewers, just give us a 2-minute resume about yourself and what you've done so far in your career.
Okay, so I'm from Cardiff in Wales. I've been doing barbering since I left school. My mum kind of forced me to get a job, or she was going to kick me out. So I just thought, shit, what am I going to do? Went to the job centre, and the easy choice was barbershop because I thought it was a pretty cool place. Went there by chance, got the job, and then fell in love with the industry. I remember I had my first set of clippers with your lovely face on the box back in the day. So I've worked in different barbershops, working with different textures, different kind of, skill sets over the years. I've entered competitions, won competitions. Past, say, 4 or 5 years, I've been working more on the fashion side of the industry. And obviously barbering's growing now on the fashion side rather than just hairstylists and makeup artists doing hair. So there's more room for barbers now in the industry. And yeah, I've been traveling. I've been doing TV stuff like Love Island. I've been working with like Zara and brands like D&G doing fashion shows. Working with a clipper brand called Babyliss. Yeah, so that's a pretty much a sum up of what I've been
impressive.
doing.
I mean,
yeah, it's
look,
not bad.
I meant what I said right at the top. I mean, if you remember, we bumped into each other about 4 years ago, and I think up to that, you used to think that I never spoke to you or walked past you. You never know what kind of mood I'd be in. But I went up to Tariq and remember the conversation.
That's an industry-wide thing. Everybody thinks that until they know you.
Look, what does that say inside there on a tattoo?
Don't judge me till you know me.
There you go. So I had that at a very early age. I had that when I was 7. So I went up to Tariq and I just said to him, I said, look, mate, I watch your work. You probably don't think I do, but you really impressed me with some of the stuff that you've done. I think you're a very talented guy. And, I wish you all the best with it, whichever brand you're with, because I think to move on. Just my first question to you is, there's so many barbers out there. And I think I've been a big part of setting this off years ago, but they all want to be on stage. They all want to be ambassadors. They all want to do this. Did you ever dream that you'd get to where you are now? When you first started, when your mum said, job centre, you need to get into being a barber or whatever, an hairdresser. Did you ever dream that you'd be where you are today?
No, to be honest with you. I just, like I said at the start, it was just something just to keep my mum happy. And then I went to the job centre and it was just like, I used to spend, believe it or not, I used to have hair. And so I used to go to barbershops. I used to feel like, this place, I used to just love being there. As a young kid, got all the guys coming in, like, who who got good jobs, who were doing stuff they shouldn't be doing. And you just, you're getting, you almost grow up in a barbershop from where I come from. It's like you see everything. You used to buy DVDs there, knocked off clothes there. Do you get what I mean? You used to hear about girls. You used to learn everything in a barbershop. So it was like, that's a cool place to work. So that's how I kind of fell into it. And then luckily the barbershop that I went to, they were like a family run business, but they, years before that, they changed the level of barbering in Cardiff. They did like textured hair. Obviously, it's quite there's a massive ethnic community in Cardiff as well. So it was they won competitions. They kind of put me onto a different path of what I thought barbering was. So just like in a shop, because they had already done these things like entered competitions, done stage shows, and I was like, oh, I didn't realize this was even a thing. You didn't have social media and stuff like that then. You either heard about it or saw it in magazines and stuff like that, and then they had magazines with like yourself in, Chris Foster and stuff like that, 5, and I was like, these guys like that, and then that just inspired me to to then want to do the rest of this stuff. But even then, even though it kind of inspired me, I didn't think I would ever get there or do it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm grateful for where I am, I guess.
How long you guys covered him in magazines in BarberEVO, SalonEVO? How long you been following Tariq's career?
Well, from day dot, but that is a bit of a touchy subject when it comes to covers and Tariq. That is an ongoing discussion, of course, and it doesn't help, Simon, when you've been on tour yourself.
Yeah, listen.
Simon's taking up all the covers. Do you know what I mean?
All the covers,
so if you can free one or two up for
no.
Tariq,
I said I get the third. And then that puts me in the Hall of Fame of covers as well. So that's until that's done.
Do you know? It's a great question, though, and what I would say is that Andrew Brewster, my business partner, who I always love to mention if I can, he identified Tariq very early on, alongside the likes of Danny Robinson. Obviously, he knew about yourself, but Tariq was one that he identified early on, and it's been a case of, you know, it's always interesting to see when a barber kind of breaks free from what the norm is meant to be or expected to be. So when you do your fashion shoots, when you do the clothing ranges, the work you do with that, when you do the TV work, so many people get influenced by that. So many people are like, hang on a second, there's so much more, and there isn't a ceiling. Yeah. And actually, like, it really comes down to, and how often have we spoke about this, Tariq? It comes down to networking, and you never know where that conversation's going to lead.
Yeah, 100%. Networking is the game changer, because, like you said, you never know who you're going to meet for a conversation. Like even Simon saying that time when, like, I remembered it, and I really appreciated when he stopped and said, like, listen, what you're doing is good. He pulled me to the side. You know what I mean? He didn't do it in front of everyone, didn't make a thing about it, and just said, you know, I appreciate what you're doing. I love your work. Like, keep it up. And there's little things like that. Do you know what I mean? That just can give you that little motivation. Like, oh, he's watching, you know, and he's keeping an eye on it, and I must be going the right way, you know, doing the right thing, and just. Like I said, going to them events, Salon International, Evo on the road, just jam, like, you know, going to like barbershop jams, going on education days and stuff like that. You just meet people, and you never know whether it's just something they say, what they're doing, getting an insight, or they might see something in you, then they think this kid's going to be handy for me. Then that can lead you, you know, That's what happened with me.
I was just thinking of something there is that, you know, I think in football terms that scouts talk to other scouts.
Yeah, exactly.
And it might be a player that they're not looking, but some, you know, a scout might say, you know, academy level. I've been involved in academy football for so many years with my son.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, I'm looking for a centre forward. Oh, go look at him who's playing for Barnsley or Leeds. He's really talented, handy kid.
Yeah.
And when you get 2 or 3 reviews that's the same, you've got to think, hey, there's too much consistency.
Yeah.
I remember early doors that Matt and Dan Barber Blades mentioned you very early doors to me.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I always speak to David's partner Andrew from the creative side of Evo and BarberEVO and SalonEVO, because he's got a good eye as well what's happening out there. So I think our network of who we speak to now, and when you get a name that's popping up all the time, you're thinking, something's right here.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to people out there? Look, there's hundreds out there that want to open that box where they actually don't want to do the work. They just want to open the box and say, look what Wahl sent me. Look what Babyliss has sent me.
Yeah.
A lot of that for me is bollocks.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, it's basically just not... I feel it's like having a vision of what you want to do and where you want to go, but not selling yourself as well. Like not you know... Put the work in for it, you know. Just don't have an ego, for one. Don't think like, you know, well, I just deserve it. Wahl should just be giving me, or Babyliss should just be giving me a contract, and these guys should put me on the front cover. Why should they be doing that? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you put in the work and you just keep on going about your work, showing up, delivering, then people are going to notice this. You don't have to put on this big thing of like, I'm a barber, and like, you know, I want it now. And I see it. People do it for the fame, the celebrity lifestyle, and you know yourself. It's like long day, long nights, early mornings. You know, you're away from your family when you're traveling and stuff like that. It's like you're on stage. You know, it looks glamorous, but it's hard work, and sometimes people don't realize that. And so you just got to take your time with it and be patient, because I've been barbering for almost 18 years, and I've been chipping away at doing like the stage stuff for probably 7 years, 8 years, and then the fashion stuff. It just takes time. I think people see what you're doing now and just think, oh, he got the phone call and that's just what's happened, when they don't see the hard work that goes into it. So don't expect something overnight, really. Just put, you know. How
do you guys, you know, like, there's talent out there. How do they get in touch with you and Andrew in terms of like getting in the magazine with their work? Do they just send it off? Is it you approach them? What is the process now?
Do you know, I'm so glad you asked that, because when Tariq was talking there, it led me to this thought that we've had so many times, that a lot of folk get in touch, and it's like this preconceived notion that they deserve or they've earned the right to be there. And see when that happens, we couldn't be any more put off if we tried. We legitimately, even if they're the best in the business, it's like, fucking hell, like really? Like that's your approach to us. What we get inspired by are folk that are doing stuff differently, folk that are, so you look at Tarek as an example here, Simon, right? So he's got the fashion work, right? The whole concept of hair and barbering in general, and the idea that you can actually merge it with the fashion industry, you can actually start to like really bring it up, you know, really uplift the quality, the standards, everything about that interests us. And also the fantastic photography that's going to come alongside that, because at the end of the day, it's a magazine. It lives and dies by the quality of the imagery in it, right? So there's that first of all. But then if you start to think, well, actually, what are they doing to elevate the industry as a whole? What are they doing from an educational standpoint? Is it, oh, look, this is how you hold the clipper. This is how I do a fade. No. Everybody and their granny's doing that. But it's like, what are the advanced techniques that this person's putting forward? Or what unique kind of way of doing it are they bringing forward? That's the kind of thing that stands out for us. But the final part of that, and again, like, I'm so glad you've asked that. We were talking about this off air. See if someone picks up a magazine and they legitimately they get in touch and they'll give us feedback, or even now if they do like a video or something and it's like just showing that they're reading the magazine. Remember, at the end of the day, a magazine's there to be read. It's like a book. If it's not going to be read or picked up, it's useless. So it has to be of interest. If someone's going to the effort of actually recording something like that, taking the time and going to town on it and send it in, we're going to be more open to that, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Tarek, a question is what do you think is the most important thing to get discovered and to start doing the stuff that you're at now, where you're doing fashion stuff and you're doing the
Zara,
Love Island.
Love Island. It's just that first of all, just focus on like gaining all the knowledge and experience you can get in our craft, so you don't come up short. So knowing what you're doing, you're not learning to do a haircut or two and then thinking that's the end game. Trying to learn as much as possible, because you're gonna get thrown in different situations and face different pressures, and then just putting yourself out there. I mean, social media has been a game changer for being able to promote yourself, really. Do you know what I mean? And being able to get in, like, noticed by brands, because I can imagine brands like, well, you probably have like at the end of the month, you probably have like a social media thing, and look who's tagging you, and look who's, do you know what I mean? Yeah, so it's like, I don't think people realize that this is what happens, that they keep an eye on stuff like that. So that's one way, messaging people who inspire you, who are doing cool stuff and they need teams and they need people to help them out. Hey, I'm willing just to come and hold sections for you or pass you your stuff, help you get your kit out of the bag and set it up and help it pack away. You've got to humble. I done a shoot 2 weeks ago with a guy, Andrea Martinelli, who's an unbelievable hairdresser, and I assisted him. He's doing wigs and stuff like that. I was there holding hair. I did a couple of haircuts because there was some barbering to do. But it's just ego goes. When you saying, Tarek, pass me this, can you do that? I did it because this guy can give me so many opportunities and I can learn so much from him. He has to offer. I don't want to rock up and be like, I can do a nice round afro haircut, so I'm the special one here. I'm not. He's asked me to come to help him, and that's what I'm going to do. You have to just put yourself out there, and just be willing to help people.
Would you say your work has moved more into afro? Would you specialise in that?
I would say, I'd say, yeah, I'm known for being a specialist in afro hair, but I wouldn't like to just categorize myself. To be honest, because I do, I learned like traditional barbering. I've done, longer hair. Obviously there's, and like I see that as my USP, I guess, in the industry. That's there's amazing guys who do all different types of textures of hair and different techniques and styles. So I think if you come into like a Salon International, you perhaps want to see me or Chris or Five or someone doing something like that with afro hair, Kevin. So that's like how I kind of look at it. What can I do that someone else is not doing? But
yeah, we saw somebody at Connect actually from Scotland, X, who did
he was on stage. Yeah,
some of his stuff is like amazing what he does. Afro stuff, and so they're those kind of people are on the radar again through Andrew, David, seen the work, seen the social media side of things. Still got lots of work to do on the other side of it. Because I think that's where you've grown up a lot. The other side of it's come up now where you're more personable in terms of like, I think you can just hold a conversation like any you're just different.
Okay.
And I think maybe that's me getting to know you more.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I think you've projected yourself more instead of being a bit quieter.
Yeah, I used to be very,
too
very quiet.
yeah.
Yeah, too quiet. Yeah, exactly.
And I think, you know, that you've changed a little. I don't think for 1 minute you're loud, but I think you just know what to say at the right times.
Just you gain, obviously, you gain confidence, and you learn to put yourself across. You're not trying to. In the end, you realize that, you know, like yourself, you're you on stage. That's what people love.
Yeah,
Love it or hate it. That's what Simon.
They love
do you know what I mean?
Do you know, it's interesting just listening to this as well, and thinking about, like, we spoke earlier on about the importance of maybe the more experienced ones in the industry, the Simon Shaws, the Andrew Bartons, for example, of having the ability to say, hang on a second, this is someone that I'm going to pull out from the pack.
Yeah.
I'm going to give them some advanced tools or techniques and give them a little bit of a leg up.
Yeah.
They deserve it. They've got the talent, but I'm going to showcase it. Tarek said something earlier on about social media. Instead of using it to you know, build an ego, use it to build a core audience or a core client base, right? But also use it to connect with the Simon Shaws and the Tarek Howes of this world. Like, don't be shy. This is something, again, you've preached to me a couple of times, Tarek. Don't be shy to reach out and say, I really enjoyed that you did that, or as Tarek said, is there something that I could come along and support you with? Could I assist you with something so that I can learn from you? And see, when you do that, it's fascinating. I can only imagine that when someone's approaching you doing that, yeah, it gives you a bit of a boost, but you also think, that's really humble. That's someone that's shown the kind of characteristics that deserve an opportunity.
Yeah. I have to tell this little story, which is we were in Telford a couple of years ago, and we'd done we'd both been working on different stages, and the next morning we went in for breakfast to the Holiday Inn. We were with the Chemical Brothers, if you remember. And Tarek had this gold chain, and I'm not kidding, this gold chain was so heavy. And he left it on the table while he went up to the buffet area. I thought, I'm having that. And I put it on it, like literally pulled it down. And Danny came back, he says, you know that chain's 20 grams of I don't know, was that right? 20 grams of a gold chain? And I think, again, these are, I know we're joking here, but this is, again, like, we're from the hairdressing and barbering industry. This is like something that Mr. T had wanted. He's just like leaving it on table at breakfast, and I'm like, I'm having that. In fact, it suits me a lot better. And in fact, a lot of people thought that morning that I was the mayor of Telford.
Because it had like this giant,
I could see that. I could see that.
Giant Queen's head pendant. I borrowed it from... so I thought, funny enough, I borrowed it from a customer of mine who had the chain. I wish I had a 20 grand gold chain with a queen's head on it. But,
he has to say that, doesn't he?
Yeah, for tax purposes. But so I borrowed it from a customer, and I just used it like on stage because it looked cool with the model, and we took his top off, and it suited the kind of photo shoot we did at the end of it and stuff like that. But that's kind of what I wanted to do at Barber Connect, is kind of show of what different you can do to, you know, getting jewelry, getting, you know, accessories to match, you know, a haircut, and just to make, you know, to break it up a bit, because I mean, you know, if everyone just does the same stuff over and over, you know, it needs to be different. So that was,
because I feel sometimes you walk around the exhibitions and it's like similar but different but similar. You've got to understand, you know, a lot of people over the years I've watched, and I've just stood back and think, I did that 10 years ago. I did that 15 years ago, and it's almost like a watered down version of what you've done.
And that's my biggest worry sometimes when I'm doing stuff like that, is I don't want to be doing something that I've done before, or I don't want to be that guy. Do you know what I mean? And that's no disrespect to no one, but that's just me. I don't want to just be comfortable and feel like, oh, I'm at Barber Connect, I'm just going to do a fade. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like you've got to try, and at least we're there to inspire people. So that's what we should be doing, is trying to push it.
But do you know, that's interesting, because Tarek for me is an ideal sort of example of being able to take the best of other industries, or even just hairdressing, and bringing it into barbering, or the fashion sector, or television, and being able to pick up on the subtleties, the things that you can bring across, as you say, accessorise, for want of a better term.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually bring it there, and actually add so much more to it. And then that avoids Simon walking past
thinking
I've seen this 1,001 times. It's not for me.
Even when you're just talking about as well, not talking about the same thing, talking about something different. You know, because sometimes, you know, it's great to be demonstrating things, but there's loads of great barbers in the crowd at Barber Connect. So it's not just about showing off what you can do, you know, as much as that's great and you want to learn stuff from people. Sometimes it's just having a conversation and hearing their stories and how they've done things and what year they've had, whether it be in business or different parts of the barbering thing. And like, I like that as well. I like to hear people's stories and, you know, how they're feeling.
next two questions. First one and then second one. First one is, what do you dislike about our industry at the minute? What do you most dislike about it?
For me, I dislike like we were saying, I dislike people coming into the industry just thinking it's going to give them like fame, some type of fame, or I see barbers opening up and they're like they're going to take over the world, and like they're going to just be like the apple of barbering, or I don't know, some of the shit I see in here. Do you know what I mean? And it would just, I'm not killing people's dreams and stuff like that, but like it just seems to be like the mentality in general now in the world, like, and it's in barbering. It's just like they want it now, and it's going to happen now because the YouTuber made 100 million in 1 year, that they're going to do that, when they don't realize it just takes years and years and practicing and losing and failing and again get told no, and you just got to keep trying and keep applying yourself and just keep your head up and keep going, which and some people they can't seem to take that either. That's my biggest fear with my kids, is they don't like hearing no, they don't like failure. Do you know what I mean? It's a mentality of society right now, and it's just, that's what I feel like my whole life has been to get to where I am now.
And what do you love about it?
What do I love about it?
Tell me you've still got the love.
Well, obviously, I got a passion for the industry, as far as hair and what I'm doing and what I see and stuff like that. But it's nice that to be able to network with guys like you and all be in a room together, and like yourself, me, different brands, David from BarberEVO. It seems to have like a nice sportsmanship between the industry now. It doesn't seem to have like this, oh, you work for them and they work for, like, I hate that shit, me personally. Do you know what I mean? I like people, I like barbers regardless of who they work for. If I don't like you, I don't like you. If you work for the same team or a different team, do you know what I mean? It's just, it seems to be getting a nice environment to be in.
Even when I did the other podcast, I was the one that kind of would get Baldy on and get yourself on, or get somebody on from other brands, because it never fears me or what we are, because I think we are the biggest, and so it never fears me interviewing anybody from different brands, but that's not reciprocated.
Okay, yeah.
And I find it that there's a fear factor. Oh, we can't have anybody from Wahl on our podcast, or like that doesn't really ever. And I think it's our strength as well. That's why we do that as well, like fetching people in. I think it's one of those things that for me, it's not about what you've just said. I'm not bothered who you're working for. It's you as a person and your talent, and whatever you've got in your hand. It's a personal
that's not
choice.
what we're exactly. Yeah, when we're talking about what we do with the tools, do you know what I mean? And that's what I mean. It's like great that these conversations are being had, and like I've met some of them, like Danny, the psychopath that he is. He's a friend for life. Do you know what I mean? I love him, like my brother. Jody as well. She's like an older brother to me, mentor. So I've met like some serious friends that have changed my life. Them two in particular. Danny kind of got me into the industry, as far as I was watching him traveling. I was just sitting in my shop in Cardiff, just watching this guy get on trains going to London, thinking like, wow, what the how do I want to do that? I want to I want to get out of this shop. Do you know what I mean? Not because I hate where I am, but I want to go and see stuff. I want to be inspired. I want to be motivated.
I think he also tell you that most of that came from getting through to the final.
No, he did, exactly.
Of the Wahl Barber of the Year. He got that taste.
Yeah.
Going on that stage and like, I want some more of this. It's quite effective.
It does. Yeah, it does. It is literally. That's what did the shows like Barber Connect and Salon International and the stages and going there. It is an opening. Some people go to them, and I know it. I know barbers who are great barbers who are businessmen and make way more money than what I do with their business, but because that's their passion. But my passion, I love hair. I love learning new stuff. I love being around people who are creative. That's what I thrive off. I love being there.
People's watching. You mentioned celebrity. Love Island and no, just Love Island.
Love Island, yeah.
Yeah. So day to day, you go out there. How long do you fly out there for a day? Are you there a week? Are you in the villa? Is there private accommodation?
Yeah.
Do you cook? Just tell everybody. I'm going to Scooby what happens on Love Island, barring what the sea.
So when I first got the call to go and do it was just after lockdown kind of eased up a bit. So they gave me the call and they were like, "Would you like to just come do the hair on the guys on Love Island?" And I was like, I'm not gonna lie, like me and my missus love that shit. Like we watch it like 9 o'clock comes, do you know what I mean? Like we let it run a bit so we can skip the adverts, a cup of tea and digestives come out and we watch it. So I was like, fucking yeah. Obviously I love to go to Spain and just get paid to cut guys here on Love Island. I mean, it's great clout for social media for my shop, and I love to do it, do you know what I mean? So I went out there and because it was just after COVID, we had to isolate for 15 days before we even cut any hair. And they put me in like
In Spain?
In Spain. So this was just after COVID.
Tough gig, eh? Tough gig.
Yeah, so it was a tough gig, and we got paid for every day that we were there. Like,
It needs to stop now, eh?
It was wild, yeah. And literally just did one day of cut. I think I did 5 or 6 haircuts. And it was the day I landed was the day the Euro started. So it was just drinking beer, swimming in between, sunbathing, watching football.
It sound hard work to everybody that? Or
Yeah,
you-
I mean, that one was, it'll never happen again.
Watching all the cameramen,
Yeah.
they're all snarling at you.
Yeah, no, so...
I used to like this guy.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
more
but-
recently, it's just a bit like you get flown out the day before, go to a nice hotel now rather than a private villa over pool, which is still lovely. Then the next day is like up early, you get picked up by a driver, because they don't meet each other before they go into the villa, so you'll get driven to a private villa, unpack up the hair, pack up. That's where it comes like, then you're cutting hair off porch in Mallorca where it's like 32 degrees, unpacking your shit, cutting hair, packing it back up, getting back in, driving to another villa. Like the end of that day after doing 6 of those in the heat, it's like...
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not, what I mean is, it's not, I'll put a photo up of like me driving past the beach or my feet up by the pool, but that day has been like a ball busting day. Do you know what I mean? And that's a different thing, is putting up with that as well, because you can be a great barber. Like even with my boys, when they want to go and do stuff like this, I say it comes with a different pressure. You know, you're like, they're rushing you. You've got to speak to people. You got to be able to handle yourself in these situations. It's not just about your technical ability. It's about, you know, your mental resilience as well and stuff like that. You can just crumble or just like not want to do it, and then you start slacking on some of the haircuts because you're hot and you're tired. You know, it's the stuff like that comes into it as well. It's more than just...
And I think throughout season 1, on the final cut, we've interviewed hairdressers and barbers, some who have gone on to do TV stuff, but are on set, where yours is behind the set. But I know we've spoken, we're not going to talk figures here, but I know financially it's worth your while doing that stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
But probably... equally, from a social content point of view, are you allowed to use some of that footage?
Yeah.
Or how's that work?
Yeah, so you're allowed to use the footage. So, you know, when they're going in at the start, you can get like pictures, and I'm allowed to film kind of me around in and around the villa and stuff like that. Not inside, but promoting that I'm doing the Hair for Love Island. And then the final, I can pretty much promote what I want then. So it's like I said, it's financially you're gaining from what I'm getting paid to do it. It's a great experience. You get like getting paid to travel is an unbelievable thing to be able to do. And then what you gain from it, from the social media side of it, I mean, it creates a hype around like my shop. You know, you have like women coming in the shop, like who don't even bring the kids to the shop for their haircut. Like, oh, what's Teddy like? Like, do you know what I mean? So it just creates like, you know, I know it seems this Love Island is cheesy, is a bit like whatever, but why do I care? Because it gives my shop unbelievable free promo for me, for my boys who work in my shop. It helps me draw in barbers as well, because they look at what I'm doing and they know sooner or later they may get opportunities from me, and they do already. My boys are working in TV. They've done photo shoots for big brands, and that's a beautiful thing, to be able to actually give them opportunities that I never had when I was their age.
You in Cardiff?
Yeah, Cardiff.
Because
Yeah.
there's a big TV studios there.
Yeah,
there?
Bad Wolf or Big Wolf or something. They film like mad. I mean, Tom Hardy was there
Casualty.
last year.
But do you know do Doctor Who for a while?
Yeah.
But I think Lucasfilms, they like, it's mad. There's
Stella.
everything. Stella, Gavin and Stacey, you know, all the big
How
stuff.
did we miss that one?
Oh, no, listen, they're some of my favourite. You said digestives and a cup of tea. That's me. Maybe switching the tea to Desperado. I mean, look, you know, just like we'll put in the link as well if you do have a problem with alcohol. There's a hotline there to speak to.
See, just talking about the rough with the smooth, right?
Yeah.
And talking about social media, there's a clanger, there's an absolute classic. I was lying in bed, right? I'm not going to give too much detail away. Don't get too
Where's this
excited.
going?
I know, don't get too excited. I was lying in bed looking over a significant other's shoulder. It wasn't Andrew for once, right? And she was flicking through social media, and at the corner of my eye, I've just seen it, and I've reached my finger out and I've said, "Stop scrolling." No, it's all above board. Stop scrolling. Why? I said, why is Tarek's photo, or why is in a photo with Maya Jama on her Instagram account? And then I said, whoa, hang on, go back to that. Let me see. Oh my goodness. Turned on my side, woke up the next morning, I had to double check. I was like, did that actually? And it was on my mind. It was on my mind on it. I think I woke up about 3 times. I said, what? So see when he's saying, tough
didn't
gig,
sleep all
6
night.
haircuts a day.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
it
yeah,
must
it
be
pays off in
terrible.
certain
I'll not say what's on his mind at Barber Connect, but when we sat down, I'll tell you afterwards in the green room. But I had him up line and sinker. It's a belter, to be fair. Tariq, if you weren't doing what you're doing, I mean, your mum said, "Come on, get a job, get to job centre." You went into barbering. You can't look back. You've got a great lifestyle.
Yeah.
You and your missus are comfortable. You travel the world. You wear a good brand. You're doing well. You're living the dream but even though it's hard graft.
Yeah,
you're
of
doing
course.
well.
Yeah, no, listen.
What would you do though if you weren't doing this? Where would Tariq be working?
It's an interesting question. It's a few options. But if I wasn't doing this, I would like to be a DJ. I think I love music. I love, I think I'd be a DJ. That's what I'm telling myself. Yeah. Maybe I'd be in jail or prison or something. But I mean, if I could pick a different job or career.
We're hoping if he's watching any of these podcasts, but we've got a top DJ going up to do the Haircon show in next June in Manchester, daily, hot since '82.
Okay, yeah.
Big in a beef. So hopefully he's going to be coming to do that up in there. But DJ's never like. I mean, I think I'd be like the guy at Barber Connect, with the lights round it's like a fireplace.
Phoenix Nights.
I mean, listen, that was going to be the next song he played, and at that point, I don't know which one more entertaining, him or Danny dropping his trousers.
I mean, Danny is the best entertainment of the Barber Connect after parties, Is that control? I mean, it drives me nuts to have to babysit him, but I mean, he makes it spicy. But I would hopefully not be that type of DJ, but I think I love music, so I mean, I don't know how much of a job it is. I mean, loads of people are DJs, but they just live at home with their mum still, don't they, type of thing. So
mine would definitely be a very 80s, early 90s cheesy Wham kind of that kind of stuff. I'm into all that kind of stuff. I like it. What would a young Tariq say what would you say to a young Tariq? You're just about to go to the job centre, but you know what you know now.
Yeah.
What advice would you give yourself when you were younger?
Take it more serious sooner. I think that would be my my advice. I would I'm happy, like you said. I sometimes I'm almost ungrateful because I don't appreciate how far I've come and look at what I'm doing until we talk about it now and you actually stop and think about what I'm doing, because I'm always not happy. I'm not in that sense, but I want to do more. I want to be doing more. I want to learn more. I want to stuff like that. So I don't regret it, but I wish I just paid a little bit more attention and just because everything's easier to learn and to take in when you're younger. Do you know what I mean? And it's I've done it after having kids and so I've done it the hard way around where I could have made my life a lot easier if I just
I think there's a saying that I heard, and I'm in love with sayings and stuff, but it's when you're younger we tend to go out more. Yeah. And enjoy. That's when you're younger, where you should be working as hard as you can and concentrate on your career and earn as much money. So when you're older, you don't have to work as hard because you've done it in your younger days and you can enjoy your family. And I think what you're saying is, if we could buy a bottle of hindsight and drink it when we were 16, 17, we'd be different people altogether.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Look at what you're saying about being grateful about where I am now and living a dream as such in what I'm doing. I just think I could be further ahead or living this type of lifestyle a little bit sooner if I just didn't go on so many nights out or didn't, do you know what I mean? Didn't have that attitude when I was in work, because I've been on 2-3 nights out in the week thinking, and just I want to go home. Do you know what I mean? And just really paying attention and learning a little bit extra, I would just be a bit further in my.
So I was going to say, if you heard a siren outside, that is Barry's joining us because we're going to do some more podcasts here tomorrow. So Barry Stevens has just joined us in his Bentley driving from Poole, and obviously security are outside because of the watch he's wearing on his wrist. Start again. Tariq, what advice would you give, with all your experience now, what would you advice give to a young Tariq starting out in his career?
It would just be take your career more serious, get your head down, and graft, enjoy it. Obviously, as you're growing up, go out, have nights out and stuff like that. But, I just didn't take it serious. I just, kind of stumbled upon it and got my passion as it went on. I did fall in love with it, but I just wish I just focused on learning as much as possible when I was younger, because I'm still learning stuff now that I could have easily learned and just paid more attention 15 years ago. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like doing it now when I've got a business and I'm trying to do this and I've got kids, when it'd have been easier when I had no business, no rent to pay, no kids. It would have been easy just to focus on it at a younger age and then live life a bit better.
I was listening to a saying a couple of weeks ago, which is like, when you're younger, you should work as hard as you can and not go out as much, not waste it as much. Work as hard because you're younger, you're fitter, you're healthier.
Yeah.
So when you are getting older and you've got kids, you can enjoy your family more because you worked harder when you were younger. So I think that is like, it's called hindsight. In hindsight, we'd have all done things
100%.
differently. But you can't be displeased with your career.
No, exactly. Like I said, I'm happy. I am, because this, you know, I'm grateful about where I am. You know, I always feel like I want to push and do more, and I have them days where I feel like, you know, I'm not doing enough. But I guess that's what we all have to drive ourselves. You know, it's not a negative thing, but you got to remind yourself not to get down about it and look back and be grateful about how far you've come and stuff like that. But I just would have liked to say just a little bit more attention, a little bit more focus at a younger age, and I probably would have been where I am a bit sooner and more further on the line to chilling out and being on the beach a little bit more often.
How old are you now?
33.
Wow, so you've still got lots of time ahead of you
of course,
to get even better. You know?
He's obviously tough on himself. Like, has there ever been a situation or something that you maybe regret that you kind of beat yourself up over?
Not signing for me.
I think that's Simon's regret, not mine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, but
is there something that still, like, from time to time will come back?
I think it's a strange one, because like everything that's happened has led to where I am. So it's always hard to say if you change the course of events that, you know, the future changed. But I maybe would have liked to have gone to, maybe have like come to London at a young age and kind of, or, you know, Manchester, or a bigger city than, you know, I love my city, I love Cardiff, I'll never leave there as far as like going to live anywhere, but coming to learn the hair industry in London and stuff like that, maybe done more women's hair and just like more creative stuff. I think that would help me more in the direction I'm trying to go. Like I said, I'm always trying to learn things now. I could have just done that at a younger age. So that would be my one regret, is maybe not doing that. Maybe rush to open my own salon, but things happened for the reason why I did that. But maybe taking that time and having the balls to go and just think, fuck, I'm going to go to London. Yeah. I'm going to throw myself out there and just learn a whole different skill set.
Besides myself, who is your favourite all-time like barber, hairdresser, who you look up to, who's performing on stages, who cuts hair, that you've thought, wow, this is like, that's where I've learned a lot, or I would love to be like him, or a...
Yeah, for me, my one is Jody Taylor. For me, not because, you know, it's easy to say now because he's my mentor, but this is the reason he's my mentor, because, you know, I've seen him, you know, win the BHA's, the Creative Heads Most Wanted Men's Hairstylist. It's just taste in hair and like fashion, and like the way he just shoots, and like he has his eye for the whole image rather than just a haircut, which is what I used to do as a barber, just cut hair and just look for what angle the fade looks best on for many years. Do you know what I mean? And he just taught me like, no, it's about the image, the taste. And yeah, he just put me into the path that I kind of wanted to go when I was younger, but I kind of fell out of it as time went on in, you know, running a barbershop and stuff like that. And he got me back focused in the fashion side of stuff, and, you know, the stage side of stuff. So for me, he's my his work is unbelievable. You know, he's so talented and respected, and he's just himself. He's a cool guy, so he's a great role model. You know, to be honest with you, there's no like gimmicks or nothing like that. You know, he's just good work, good guy, and just gets on with it.
We'll pop Tariq's social media angles on the screen as well, so you can see if you want to follow some of his work and what he's doing. We'll always finish off these sessions with some quick fire questions just to get to know you a little bit better for our viewers, and some of the stuff that we might know but other people might not know.
Okay.
We all set?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Seatbelts on?
I think, yeah.
Favourite food?
Yeah, steak, man. Just boring. Steak and chips.
Favourite music?
Favourite music, R&B.
R&B. Yeah. Favourite alcoholic drink?
Rum.
He's got some taste on this.
He does, yeah.
An expensive night out.
Just as well European.
Yeah.
But not tonight. Every week I say that on this show. I'm not paying tonight. It's somebody else's turn. What is, if you got an opportunity to have an ideal dinner date with somebody, past or present, you can fetch them back for one night only, who would you like to have that dinner with, and why?
That's a great question.
Is your missus going to see this?
No, yeah. Who would I do it with? I don't know. That's a great question. to be honest with you, it'd probably be Prince, the singer. I love Prince's music. I just think he was so creative and ahead, like miles just out of this world of what he was doing. I know he's like quite an outlandish character, but I would just like to sit down with him and just see what was going on inside that head. It's just intriguing. So I'd like to. You don't really know who the real person is of Prince, so I'd like to sit down with him and talk to him if I could bring it back.
Well, I'll have a go at this then. We've got Tarek Owls. He's having his favourite drink, which is rum. He's having his favourite steak and chips, listening to a little bit of R&B and doing all this with the amazing, late, great Prince. Tarek, it's been a pleasure to have you on the Final Cut,
Thanks
mate.
for having me, mate.
Continued success with your amazing career. We'll keep an eye on it. And who knows, one day we might be signing on the dotted line.
Appreciate it, mate. Appreciate it.
We'll see you soon on the Final Cut for some more podcasts.